From one of racing's extremes to the other. Boy, in recent years, stock car racing has undergone some changes schedule-wise that have really diversified the product. We've known about draft racing for a long time. Talladega and Daytona have been installments of the series since 1947 and 1969, respectively. But in recent years, other tracks have gotten that treatment, most notably Atlanta Motor Speedway, which a few years back got transformed to a drafting track and now experiences some of the best racing on the NASCAR circuit, but it is a drafting race. And what better way to start a season than with a drafting race? NASCAR does it every year, the Daytona 500. We've done it now twice, at Daytona and last week at Atlanta. But now, the second half of the season provides a bit more of a unique twist for our sake, in that the second race heads to a completely opposite end of the spectrum. Last week, it was draft racing. It was 180 miles an hour, 6 inches apart, 2x2x2, full throttle racing, all about, what kind of line you have, what kind of helpers you have, and what kind of run you have at the end of the race. And now we go to the opposite. It's low speed, it's technical, it's rhythm-based, it's very easy to make a mistake and mess your entire race up, your entire plan up from the very start. It's literally the opposite end of the spectrum. Tonight, the Challenger Cup Series ventures onto the streets for the first time in my tenure, and I believe only the second time in series history, with the Chicago Street Race being the second race of the season. The setting tonight, as you see here behind this logo, Grant Park, Chicago, Illinois, for race 2 of season 2 of the 2025 Challenger Cup Series campaign. Cannot wait for this one. You see, it's a picturesque setting. It is a unique setting. And again, unlike real road course racing, unlike road courses designed for racing and not just city streets, those are built around race cars. Those are, cookie cutter, if you will. They are cut, designed, and branded for race cars. The streets of Chicago are not particularly branded for race cars. So in this case tonight, a unique experience for all of these drivers as we take two city streets that have been converted into a racetrack, and we give these drivers a chance to go all out. Somebody will get in the playoffs tonight. Somebody will make their presence felt on the series circuit tonight at the Chicago Street Race. With that, we say welcome in. High atop the virtual Grant Park, the Chicago Street Course. My name is Dawson Wise. You're watching live coverage of Race 2 of Season 2 here in 2025 of the Challenger Cup Series live on PGR eSports. As we start to move this logo out of the way, drivers will be on track momentarily to grid. They're on the track qualifying now. Some of the road course ringers will be on display tonight. Of course, John Velocity is the one that we most notably kind of focused on last week. He currently has the best time. If you missed last week's race in Atlanta, what a banger it was, start to finish. Steven Luttrell gets a huge win, locks himself in the playoffs now, can race for points and try to maximize his regular season. A lot happening last week, chaos and good racing and fuel mileage, a lot going on last week on the racetrack for the Challenger Cup Series. But it's a new week, it's a new race, and it's a new racetrack for a lot of these drivers. It's the Chicago Street Course. Let's get right down trackside because I want to do something while they roll off the grid. We're going to take a virtual lap around Chicago in a moment while these guys roll around it. So let's get the starting grid out of the way really quickly. On the front row, specifically on the pole, a time of 1 minute, 28 seconds. It's going to be John Velocity in the 84, the champion of Season 1 of this series in 2025. To his outside, or to his right, if you will be Matt Hayden in the 5. He'll start on the outside of, the right side of row number 1. Row 2 from the third position, last week's winner, Steven Luttrell, in the 36. He'll roll from row 2. It'll be Rusty Modesty alongside him, still looking for that elusive first win of the calendar year in 2025. Row 3, it's one of the final 4 from last season. Harold Watkins in the 3. He'll roll from 5th, and Andrew Little in the 68 returns tonight. One of the playoff drivers from last season in the 68. He'll roll from 6th. Row 4, a pair of teammates, Travis Everett in the 13, another one of the final 4, and GT Irizarry, his fellow final 4 competitor, will roll off from 8th. And on row 5, it'll be Christian Strader, one of the road course aces in the field tonight in the 29, a little bit further back than we expected him. And the debut for Nick Seipel, tonight driving the 57. If you've watched our other content, you're used to him being in the 75. Tonight he rolls off in the 57 from position number 10 in his Challenger Cup Series debut. Back in 11th, it's James Coytrone in the 38 machine. Alongside him, it's Harold Rothery in 12th. Row 7 will feature Garrett Caswell. Led a lot of laps at Atlanta last week. Very confident going into tonight, and he'll have to whirl from 13th, try to get up front. It'll be Greg Bourbonier to his right in 14th position. Row 8, Stephen Racing in the 21 machine. Ran well last week at times as well. And Mike Martino in the 75. And the final row tonight, row 9, Brandon Beauchamp in the 15. And Taylor Seneft making his debut, shotgun on the field from 18th position. All right, let's take a virtual lap around Chicago. 34 laps on the board. It is a 9-lap first stage. The conclusion of stage number 1 will be at the conclusion of lap number 9. Let's take a virtual lap as these guys roll off. We will do so with them. This front straightaway is one of the longest straightaways on the circuit. It is South Columbus Drive, driving, I believe, northbound on the racing surface. They'll come all the way down this long front straightaway, past the start-finish line, and down into a hard braking zone here in this tight 90-degree left turn with those tire barriers on the left. It is turn 1. This turns them onto Balbo Drive. They'll now come past our camera, down another decently long straightaway for this course's sake, onto this another tight right-hand 90-degree turn onto South Lakeshore Drive. Lakeshore Drive, the longest straightaway on the circuit in terms of distance. Now there will be a bit of a kink in the middle of it that will serve as turn 3. I'll point that out here in a moment. But Lakeshore Drive, one of the longest segments of this racing circuit. It's not a very long circuit, only, excuse me, about a mile and a half. Man, about a mile and a half. This is the kink right here that is considered turn 3. They'll come down here, another pretty tight braking zone, not necessarily because the corner is tight. It's a little bit wider corner, but you're into braking for turn 5. This is turn 4 onto Roosevelt Drive. This is turn 5, another 90-degree right-hander, a very short chute and a very tight technical braking area. Out onto another long straightaway. This is South Columbus Drive going the other direction, coming back towards the start-finish line. It essentially serves as what you could call the back straightaway on this Chicago street course. They'll come down this long, narrow-ish straightaway. See, it kind of widens out there at the safety truck there on the left side of your screen. And as they come down here towards this next corner, it is another left-hander, and it is another 90-degree corner that will serve as turn number 6 right here. You see this high above view. A bit of an interesting view up and over the hill that is Balbo Drive, again going the other direction. They go downhill into this tight braking zone for turn 7, which is right here past the Xfinity Mobile banners. This is one of the tightest corners on the racetrack. We will see some problems right there. I'd imagine it narrows out, and we get into what I'm going to refer to tonight as Congress Plaza throughout the race. I'm going to call it Congress Plaza throughout the night as we go along. This wide arcing turn around this plaza area with that statue you see there on the right, a couple of other objects as well in that courtyard. This is turns 8, turns 9, and turns 10. Then turn 11 right here is going to be this right-hand 90-degree. So 8, 9, and 10 is kind of one arcing corner. This is turn 11. They come down the hill once again past the McDonald's banners. The restart zone will be right here in this area towards the end of this straightaway as well. They will come down through turn 12. The pace car gets out of the way, and you know what that means. It's time to get racing. They come off turn 12, the final corner, the first trip to the streets for the Challenger Cup Series. Green flag is in the air. We're racing in Chicago. Lap 1 complete, 8 to go here in stage number 1. It's the conclusion of lap 9. We'll have our only full course planned caution of the night. No full course cautions unless there's a track blocking incident. It's the only time there'll be one tonight. Rusty Modesty getting a little out of shape back there. Other than that one stage caution at the end of lap number 9, we will not have any full course cautions again unless the track's completely blocked. We got through the start A-OK so far for most of these drivers. We'll take an update on some of them here as we go throughout the race. But did want to get that point across that there will be no full course cautions unless the track is blocked other than the stage at the conclusion of lap 9. Oh man, big hit to the wall there for Matt Hayden. A lockup for 4th place Stephen Luttrell, and you can see already how technical and how attrition based this track is going to be tonight. Hayden's got some left front damage. Luttrell drops 4 spots. And we look back here towards some of these battles. Nick Seipel's the man on the move right now, +4 for the rookie. He'll lose a spot here to his teammate, Garrett Caswell, who is +7. How about Caswell? Although he'll lose a spot right back, a switchback by Nick Seipel. These cars both coming forward. +4 for Seipel, +6 for Caswell, the 75 and the 77. 75 on the car, 57 on timing and scoring through Congress Plaza. Nice battle here, 4th through 7th, really even further back than that, as these guys work their way through this Plaza corner. Luttrell has some problems there in the Congress Plaza area as well. Everett, given plenty of room as they get down to turn number 11. You see Seipel to the inside of Rusty Modesty in that right-hander. He'll try again here in turn number 12. Let's check back in on this battle with Seipel and Modesty as they work back onto the front stretch. Seipel has to hit the brakes, and the battle ceases for the time being. Oh, big hit to the wall for Luttrell. Luttrell's going to go backwards in a hurry. Last week's winner from 3rd to 9th here over a couple of laps. He'll lose another spot to Cotrone here into turn number 1. Andrew Little going to dive to his inside as well. It's a big hit. It might have knocked some suspension pieces off for Stephen Luttrell as he goes towards the back. Christian Strader's having internet problems. He's -3. He's back to 12th right now. Greg Bourbonier +1 up to 13th. And then we get to the drivers that have had some issues. Harold Rothery is 14th. You see one car on pit road. That's Mike Martino. Taylor Senift got a little loose on the opening lap of tonight's race, but he's still 15th. Brandon Beauchamp's got front-end damage on his car. He is 15th. Stephen Rasick had a problem early in the race. He is 16th. Looks like a solo spin. No damage on that car. And Mike Martino off pit road already a lap down in 17th. And now Greg Bourbonier goes to pit road. He's had a problem as well, as he has gone left front first into the outside, or into the one of the barriers here. As we see Velocity with a 5-second lead over Harold Watkins. That is the biggest gap on track. I think we're going to go back here and keep an eye on these two cars, Garrett Caswell and Nick Seipel. Again, too much going on, not enough time to go back and watch a ton of replays tonight. If we get a chance, we will, but there's just going to be so much happening to a lot of different drivers throughout the course of the night, and I would like to try to keep the focus up front. And really on these two cars, man, Garrett Caswell and Nick Seipel. Seipel in his first start in the series, Caswell in his second. And this is impressive, although, oh boy, Caswell gets the door of Irizarry off the right-hand corner. Remember, last week those two had some history at Atlanta. Caswell, that is, the 77, turned GT Irizarry at the end of stage number 1 last week. GT was not very happy about that incident and the fact that it wasn't called a penalty on Caswell either. More history right there as Caswell gets Irizarry out to the left side wall and gets some damage on that 14 machine. Allows Seipel, his teammate, to go past. These two, some of the fastest cars on track, but still trail John Velocity by quite a bit. Velocity actually is a stunning amount faster than the rest of the field. Velocity's last lap of 128.7 is best of the race. The rest of the field's in the 131s, 132s. So Velocity is very much the car to beat. We'll keep an eye on this battle for now. It spreads out behind Matt Hayden. Hayden 3rd, Seipel 4th, and Caswell 5th. Modesty settles into 6th, and now Everett works on Irizarry for 7th. We'll keep an eye here for a moment. Tight left-hand 90-degree corner. Down this straightaway, down the hill. Another tight right-hander coming up. You see how technical this is. You see how little grip they have as well. Take an eye at the weather as these guys come down the hill. 116-degree track temp. That'll do it for how loose this track is. So tire is going to be interesting as well through Congress Plaza. Irizarry getting away from Everett just a little bit. Let's go take a look back at some of these other cars. Rader's still having some pretty serious internet problems. You see Harold Rothery. He's settled nicely into 10th. James Catrone had some problems as well. He is 11th. Senift is 12th. Andrew Little's had some issues also. He is 13th, -7 on the racetrack right now. Brandon Beauchamp is 14th back here. Stephen Rasick and Mike Martino. Then Stephen Luttrell has gone to pit road. He's got more damage, and now Bourbonier about to come off the jack. He is already, I believe, at least 1 lap down. He might be 2 laps down. Velocity, though, he is in full race mode and has a 7-second lead. I think we'll see how he feels about this after the race if he does go on to win. I think we're going to give him a nickname tonight. A road course ringer. Velocity won a road course last season as well. I cannot recall exactly where he won at. I believe he won it. I want to say Coda. I believe he won one of the road courses last season. And because of that, because of the dominance we're already seeing at Chicago, remember what Shane Van Gisbergen's been able to do at Chicago. He wins both races this past weekend once again at Chicago, kind of becoming the king of the streets is Shane Van Gisbergen. So I think because of that, as Velocity puts Steven Rasick a lap down, I think because of that, we're going to give him a heartfelt nickname, call him Shane Vlan Gisbergen. Oh no, Brandon Beauchamp's in the tire barrier and there's smoke coming out of the 15. He cannot get it pulled out of that barrier. He's actually stuck. He's got that car wedged. You see that left rear? It is stuck between those two tire barriers. There is smoke billowing out of that car. Taylor Seneft has made a pit stop here on lap 6. His left front has stopped as well. He's gotten the barrier somewhere on this racetrack, so he's having some problems as well. Seipel and Caswell up to 3rd and 4th. They've both gotten by Matt Hayden and actually both ran faster laps than the leader, John Velocity, last time around the racetrack. They've got clean track to work with now as well. The stage going to come in handy for these two cars, as they will both likely be in contention for the win when we get back to the stage and start stage number 2. You see Seipel running away a little bit from his teammate Caswell. Oh no! Mike Martino goes off now into the tires. Doesn't hit the tires, just goes off a little bit, locks him up, gets started again. This will not be a caution. He's able to get it back going. And he's going to try to turn this thing off the wall and get going. And we should be good without any further incident here. He'll wait for a hole in the racetrack. But how about this debut for Nick Seipel? And really a second race for Garrett Caswell, because, a drafting track is one thing. You can go do it at a drafting track in Garrett Caswell and lead a bunch of laps, and Seipel is well a veteran of the money racing community at this point if you've watched any other PGR content. But you can go do it at a drafting track, and some might say it's a fluke, and you could say that. But again, Caswell's a winner on the money racing scene, so is Seipel. So you could say they could do that, whatever. Fine, go do it on the street course, and these two so far are up to the task and doing it pretty well so far. Lap 7, Caswell's going to be the first, and I expected we'd see this, jumping the stage. The end of lap 9, remember, with 2 to go in the stage, the caution, or not the caution flag, the pits will be closed, and so drivers will start to make pit stops before that to try to get themselves track position when the leaders have to pit. Caswell will do that right now. He'll actually go and take the fast repair as well. It's an interesting decision with 28 laps to go ahead and take that fast repair. You see Matt Hayden followed him onto pit road as well. He'll make a pit stop on lap number 7. Nick Seipel has run down Harold Watkins. I mean, this is really quick. He was 5 seconds back a moment ago. Not so much anymore. Seipel is down to just over a second and a half behind this 3 car. Now under a second as they hit this right-hander, headed down towards the right-hander into Congress Plaza. And they will hit that plaza now, a high-speed arcing left-hander. And Seipel tries to build some momentum through this corner to get to the back of Watkins. Man, just look at how much faster he is through there. Able to keep the throttle matted, able to arc the corner. Watkins goes a little bit close to that wall. Seipel gets a little bit closer. Folks, we're about to have a battle for second. Nick Seipel, really impressive so far. Off turn 12, down the front straightaway. 2 to go in the stage for Velocity, who, by the way, has built a 13-second lead. But this the battle for second, so we'll keep it here for a moment. Haven't seen any of their cars come to pit road yet. There are cars 1 lap down. Harold Rothery, Steven Rasick, Stephen Luttrell, and Greg Bourbonnier. Brandon Beauchamp is 2 laps down, so is Taylor Seneft. Watkins gives the spot there in turn 2 to Seipel, and Nick Seipel now has clean racetrack between himself and the leader. Now, he will not catch him in stage 1, but certainly you can make a case in stage 2. And remember, a couple guys have pit to jump the stage and get some track position when it comes down to it, when we get to this stage break here in just a moment. Well, Velocity continues to lead. It's been about what you expect from the 84 so far in tonight's race. A road course ringer. No surprise that he is running away. And it's a 14.5 second lead. I thought Seipel was genuinely going to catch him, but Velocity's turned it on here the last couple laps Seipel is quicker on lap times, but you just don't see that reflected on the left side of your screen. So, 1 lap to go in the stage here for Velocities. He's built a 16-second lead. We'll travel back here to second as Nick Seipel and Harold Watkins continue to battle. A couple other movers. Christian Schrader +5, mostly because of track position off pit stops. Garrett Caswell still +6, is one of 2 biggest movers, he and his teammate Nick Seipel. In terms of most positions lost, Stephen Luttrell started 30, is 13th, 1 lap down. GT Irizarry is now 2 laps down. He's been sitting on pit road for about a lap and a half now. Let's go check in. And he's got more damage, so another incident for GT Irizarry has caused him to take an extended stay on pit road. Take a look back up here at Seipel. And now is starting to figure something out. He's run a little bit of that time back down on Velocity, who continues to lead the way. Battle back here. Caswell comes on and off pit road and is now trying to get up to 6. This is only going to help him when this caution flag comes out. So he's going as hard as he can so that when Velocity has to pit, he can get back around to the pace car and inherit what we likely think is inherit the lead. Velocity, Seipel, Watkins, Schrader, Everett appear to be content with stage points here. As you see Velocity make another right-hander. And on to turn 12. This will complete the stage. Now, it will be a moment. We have to let the top 5 cross the line. Velocity completes stage 1. Actually, they're going to go ahead and throw the caution immediately. Caution flag for the end of the stage as we cross on to lap 10 at the Chicago Street Course. This is our only planned caution of the night. Oh, Steven Rasick is around. Don't have a great view of him either in this 21 as he waits for cars to go by. Steven Rasick having some problems, but John Velocity wins stage number 1. And the field will start to try to catch up to him. He's actually still going. So the caution flag is out, but we're looking for the pace car. And now Velocity starting to take it easy through here, but trying to not allow Garrett Caswell, who's well behind the leader in Velocity, to have enough ground to where Velocity wants to get on pit road, get back off pit road, and still have the lead. Caswell would like to catch him and beat him to the pit line, although, well, now it may not matter because yellow flag is waving and Velocity's still going. See where the pace car picks him up here. I've never actually seen a full course caution at this racetrack. The safety car will pick him up right here off of turn number 2. And now he's hoping the safety car makes the fastest lap around the track it possibly can to not allow Garrett Caswell back into this picture, because we anticipate Caswell will stay out, although the fuel load is not full and they will not make it the whole 24 laps on fuel. So Caswell may come back down pit road. We'll see. He kind of kept his track position anyway, so be interesting to see. As John Velocity has picked up the pace car, we'll wait on the field to pick them up as well. There are 10 cars on the lead lap. Everyone from Harold Rothery on back is 1 to 2 laps down. Want to take an opportunity under this break. Not going to take our normal commercial break without full course cautions. We'll just keep it here because I want to tell you a little bit about an upcoming premier event for PGR eSports. And that is the second annual PGR eSports SummerSlam 499. The second edition. We've got dates, we've got a format, we've got a car. I forgot to put the format on the overlays here on the broadcast, but I will have it hopefully for next week. But we will give you the format. We'll give you the car. We might give you the format. May not give you the format. Well, I can basically tell you how it's going to work. We also have the car. So the SummerSlam 499 will be August 1st through the 3rd or July 31st through the 3rd, something like that. It's that first weekend in August, with a feature race being on August the 3rd, that Sunday afternoon. And here's how basically it will work. The entry list is capped at 200 drivers, and this will be a wide-ranging cast of characters. It'll be Coke Series drivers from Tuesday nights. It'll be Super Speedway ringers, the money racing community. It'll be, a big different cast of characters, just like last year, where we have up to 200 cars. We're already a quarter of the way there, by the way, 50 entries, and it's only July the 8th. So get your sign-ups in now if you want to run the SummerSlam 499. So what basically the field of 200 will be split into, I think, don't quote me on this, I think 8 to 10 prelim races or heat races. We call them prelim races over the course of that late week to weekend, ending on Saturday, with drivers from that field being taken from that right into the Sunday afternoon SummerSlam 499 feature. That will be a full-length 188-lap, 499-mile race. The Gen 6 car will be the car, and if you have watched any racing on PGR eSports in that Gen 6 car recently, it has been a complete blast. That car is unbelievable right now on super speedways. It has been the best product by far, and we are going to throw it out for the SummerSlam 499 as well. It will be an event for the ages. It's going to be an awesome weekend of racing. You will not want to miss it. It'll be basically August 1st through the 3rd, as I think what we've settled on for dates. It'll be the Gen 6 race car. It'll be Talladega Super Speedway. It's the premier event of the summer in sim racing. A $1,750 prize is on the line for the win, and a belt, a championship belt as well. Malik Ray is the defending champion of that race. So we look forward to this year's edition, rather, in just a few weeks' time. Primary broadcasters will be myself. Might see some appearances from Michael Trescaro and potentially Landon Velicki, even Austin Green. I do know Austin is going to try to race his way in. I have not heard yet from Landon on whether or not he'll try to get his way in, but I know at least that Austin Green, my usual co-commentator for Thursdays, will be trying to race his way in, so there may be some flexibility there. But you'll hear my voice throughout the weekend into the feature race as well, as I cannot wait to be a part of that one. Got to be a part of last year's with myself and Austin in the Xfinity car. It was a great race. Got to be a part of the PGR 500 back in February. Myself and Evan Pasoko, what a great honor that was. And now, the second annual SummerSlam, it's going to be an event for the ages. When we get back to Talladega here in just a few weeks, it's coming up. It'll all be broadcast on this YouTube channel, so hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And if not, why haven't you? Because this is the home of Challenger Cup Series racing on Tuesdays as well. So go ahead and hit the subscribe, like the stream, share it. Tell your friends, Challenger Night in America at the Chicago Street Course. Tell them about the SummerSlam 499 coming up in a few weeks as well. Going to be a lot of fun. Cannot wait. Big payouts, big money on the line, big bragging rights. The biggest sim racing event of the summer coming up in just a few weeks. We got business to attend to here in Chicago, though, too. And the field will see the lights go out atop the iRacing.com pace car. And John Velocity will re-inherit the lead under this, the first and only planned full course caution of the night. So Velocity will lead. It'll be Strader, who's having internet issues. He'll restart second anyway. Nick Seipel, been one of the fastest cars on track. He'll be third. Rusty Modesty fourth. Matt Hayden fifth. Andrew Little in sixth. And it's Harold Watkins, James Catrone, Stephen Luttrell, and JT Irizarry, who's back on the lead lap. Got a fixed race car. He is in 10th. Garrett Caswell, Travis Everett, Greg Bourbonier, the last three cars on the lead lap, making up 13 lead lap cars. Harold Rothery, 14th, one lap down. Stephen Rasick is one lap down. Brandon Beauchamp is multiple laps down on pit road. Taylor Seneft called it a night back on lap 9. Mike Martino called it a night on lap 5. Getting ready to go back under the green flag. Potentially for the last time. Again, no more planned full course cautions. A track blocker is the only way we'll have one, and it got so strung out right there. If we make it past turns 1 and 2, I just am not positive we'll have one. We'll see. It got very strung out very quickly. So we'll wait and see if we get into another green flag run. There's one pit stop that will be anticipated, but I mean, this is going to go on record as one of the shortest races. I'm going to knock on wood when I say this. It'll go down as one of the shortest races in Challenger Cup Series history if it continues green for the last 21 laps. We'll see. And there is a pit stop wrenched in there as well. A fuel stop for these drivers. You can either split it in half, you can go long, you can go short. We'll see what drivers decide to do here in the stage. I would probably split it in half. Give yourself 2 even runs. That way you're kind of in a rhythm. You get in a rhythm for 11. You pit, you get another rhythm for 11. That seems best to me. We'll see what these drivers decide. John Velasquez in the class of the field tonight. He's looking to finish it. Down through 11. The pace car will get lost ahead of the field and leave it in the hands of John Velasquez in the 84 to bring us back to the green flag potentially for the final time tonight. Pace car will dip off right here off turn 12. And there it goes. The field is in the hands of the Season 1 champ in 2025, John Velasquez, looking to go back to victory lane for the first time since that title race. Green flag back in the air, and away we go for the final 21 laps in Chicago. Nick Seipel, if you're going to get him, you got to get him here. Seipel jumps on the brakes. Is it too aggressive? It is. Seipel slides wide. He tank slaps the wall. He'll drop 4, 5, 6 spots down turn 1 to turn 2. I'll tell you this much, I got to give him a little bit of credit for trying to outbrake the dominant car of the day. It just did not work, and now his rear tires are completely flat spotted in that 5th position. Seipel now behind the 8 ball in a big way. Velasquez leading the way down through this wide right-hander into a tight right-hander and onto the long straightaway down Lakeshore Drive. Back down Columbus Drive. Velasquez, Modesty, Schrader, Hayden, Seipel, your top 5. Guy I'm going to be watching here is Garrett Caswell, but he is seeming to have some problems here. Getting back up to speed, and he's got more damage on that car, and that would explain why. Velasquez going to try to set sail. Modesty loose as they head into Congress Plaza. And down towards the right-hander here, and 2 more right-handers to end the circuit, 11 and then 12. Here's 11 here. And down to the little bit of a long straightaway down to turn 12. They'll come down here to the final corner. Velasquez starting to run away once again. And bigger trouble here for Nick Seipel as he has pulled the 75 to pit lane. Some kind of problem has occurred here on the 75 machine, and he sits on pit road. This one will actually go back and try to isolate because I saw it quick enough. Let's go back and try to isolate here what happened to the 75. He had basically flat spotted his rear tires. Oh, man. Did he do it again here? Oh, a lockup there in that left-hander right in front of Matt Hayden. And I believe he just toes. Tries to back up, tries to get out of the way, but I believe he's just going to decide to tow. And boy, that's a tough break for one of the cars that was really fast tonight. Likely one of, man, maybe 2 or 3 cars that could have actually caught John Velasquez. Is sitting on pit road, likely out of it here with 20 to go. Tough break for Seipel. Velasquez trying to run away, but Rusty Modesty not letting him get away here. And the gap is under 0.8 of a second. Hang on a minute. Rusty Modesty, Christian Schrader, they've got something here. Now, you may question, just like with SVG this past weekend, how much is the 84 going? How much is he burning his stuff up, and how much is Modesty going? Obviously, fair questions to ask, but still, Modesty going to put some pressure on Velasquez. Be really the first time John Velasquez had pressure on his back bumper all night. Into turn number 1, hard braking zone, left-hander. Velasquez through it, Modesty through it, and now Velasquez starts to set sail. Schrader puts the pressure now on Modesty. As Schrader, man, he has been blinking all night. This is a broadcaster's nightmare if Schrader gets to the race lead right here, because he's going to blink out for the entire lap, but hey, we'll deal with it if it comes later in the race. Velocity, though, was starting to drive away. Strader not letting him get away either. So now it's Strader's turn to try to run him down. Matt Hayden settled into 4th. Andrew Little's up to 5th. Nice run for Little. Caswell's up to 6th, but he's 14 seconds back. I can't imagine he's going to catch the leader with a 14-second gap, but might get to a top 4 finish, which after last week he had to pit with inside of 5 to go and did not get the finish he likely deserved. This week trying to make up for it, get some points, and kind of get his season righted in terms of the point standings. Led a bunch of laps last week, but did not get the result that he wanted. Tell you what, folks, Christian Strader's not going to make this one easy for John Velocity. The 2 road course aces will likely go at it here in Chicago. It is 18 laps to go at the line. We are already almost halfway, and it is 9:09 on the East Coast. We went green 34 minutes ago. Ooh, a slide for Velocity. Here comes Christian Strader, blinking and all. This you can't help but laugh. I mean, it's hard not to. This game is, this game is so interesting sometimes, and Strader obviously having no issues on his end, but boy, on our end, like, we can't see him because he's blinking in and out, and he's going to go for the race lead. And again, this is going to be a broadcaster's nightmare. This is incredible. If he somehow is able to make it to the lead. He's right there. He's going to switch back on Velocity. And here we go. The battle for the lead and potentially the win, depending on pit strategy, heads down into the right-hander. Velocity's first challenge of the night. And the worst part of it for the 84 is that he can't really see who he's racing. So there could be a chance he's just not going to see when Strader lunges a corner here. Velocity turning up the heat just a little bit on his end. He gets through 11 down to 12. Excuse me, now down to 11 and getting ready to go into 12. And now, I mean, he's right on the back bumper, but again, this has got to be chaotic for John Velocity because you're looking in your mirror and you can't see the guy. You look up there once, you might see him. You look up there again, he's gone. It's like Cal Naughton Jr. in the Ballad of Ricky Bobby. He's like the Magic Man. Now you see me, now you don't. And I hate that we can't go back and look at some of the things that have happened. Garrett Caswell, by the way, has had a problem, and now it's all the way back in 8th, 51 seconds behind the leaders. Harold Watkins has had a problem as well. He's 9th after running 2nd for much of the opening stage. He is back to 9th position on the racetrack. Stephen Luttrell, nice recovery, up to 6th. GT Irizarry is up to 5th. Andrew Little is 4th. Boy, some guys that struggled a little bit early have found their way into really nice track position here with 17 to go. Again, a fuel stop is necessary at some point in this final stage. Down through the right-hander, back down to the start-finish line, battle for the lead. Here comes Strader. He got a nice run through 12, and all of a sudden going for the race lead. He'll get it into turn number 1. New leader of the race is Mustang Dark Horse of Christian Strader. Looking to get his first win of the season, get his win of the playoffs. Velocity's not done. Right back to his back bumper. Going to try to outbrake him. But again, this is now the problem for Velocity. You don't know where that guy's going to go in front of you, and Strader starts to drive away a little bit. Setting sail. It's Christian Strader, but not for long. Here comes Velocity trying to break deep here into this right-hander. You see Strader on the brakes, and boy, Christian Strader's driving away. I'm not going to put the camera there. I'm going to save your eyes, but later, obviously, we'll have to go to him. This is the most ridiculous thing I think I've ever seen, is a driver just consistently blinking over and over and over and over again. It's insane. Never seen anything like it. keep the camera on Velocity. Matt Hayden is third and actually starting to catch the leader. Well, he was for a second. A comfortable 7-second lead for third over Andrew Little. GT Raziri is fifth. Luttrell is sixth, actually catching the 14. And it's Catrone, then it's Watkins, then it's Caswell, who seems to have had another problem. Back here in the 9th position. Caswell not having the night that I'm sure he wanted. Strader leads, 15 to go in Chicago as he crosses by the start-finish line. Car on the wall back there behind them, that was Harold Rothery. He is 2 laps down. Catrone had a problem. He gets passed for 7th by Watkins. Greg Bourbonier or Stephen Rasick have gone to another lap down. Rusty Modesty's had a problem. Boy, what happened to the 13? Or the 6? He's off the racetrack completely. Chicago taking no prisoners tonight. This race is going to be over pretty quickly, by the way. We're down to coming to 14 to go, and they've been running 1.5 lap times. I mean, this race is 20 minutes from being over. Which again, you may be thinking, why are you bringing that up? I'm just not used to it. It's not me insinuating that the racing's bad or that there's a lot of cautions. It's just the race length. I mean, we run pretty sizable races. Last week in Atlanta, we ran 117 laps. Charlotte, we ran 160 last season. Like, those are just long races. And this one, we're already well past halfway. And coming up on 10 laps to go here before we know it. Velocity has rallied a little bit here. He's gotten some of that time back on Christian Strader. And tries to rally for a win. Matt Hayden's kind of evened out with Andrew Little. He's not really gaining anything, but he's not really losing anything either. In fact, may have gained a little bit right there. And the field is completely spread out now. We continue to watch the battle for the win. Velocity now down to a second behind Strader, and all of a sudden, when we thought Strader might drive away and kind of be the dominant car the second half of the race, now all of a sudden, Velocity, who led a lot of stage number 1. Oh man, Garrett Caswell, another spin for him in that right-hander. Coming into Congress Plaza, and he will just let the leaders go. A tough night gets tougher for Garrett Caswell as he goes 1 lap down. Still slated as of now to finish in the 9th position, but not the race he wanted. Velocity not going to make it easy on Strader. Two of the best road course racers in the series. 1-2 with now 13 laps to go. Oh no, Caswell the barrels! Garrett Caswell almost gets in the pit barrels, but manages to get the car woed up. Time might be 12 to go. My understanding was that you would have to make a fuel stop. I was talking to drivers before the race. It seemed like there would need to be a necessary fuel stop. So at some point in the last 13 laps, we'll see the leaders on pit road, and it'll determine the story of the ending of tonight's race. Velocity had to go a little bit narrow there in that left-hander to avoid the lap car of Rasick. He lost 3/10 because of it. Strader by 1 second, but Strader locks up. Catrone's in the tires, or in the wall. Velocity has to go one direction. That slows him up big time into Congress Plaza, but it slowed up Strader as well. As Catrone has a huge moment right there, as he's got smoke pouring out of that car. The left front wheel won't turn. Through 11, down to 12. The gap opens up again for Christian Strader, coming back 12 laps to go in Chicago. And again, now about 18 minutes to go in tonight's race. Velocity does not have a lot of time, not only to get to Schrader, but also to pass him. Gap now 2 seconds. Schrader hit the go button just a little bit, driving away. Everybody else somewhat holding serve here. Ziri the first to pit. Caswell's on pit road as well. Caswell's gone 2 laps down. He may have hit the barrels right there. Garrett Caswell, tough night gets tougher. Catrone on pit road. But Ziri the first of the lead lap cars really to pit. With 12 to go, that likely means that these 2 leaders' pit stop is coming up here soon as well. We anticipate them being on pit road here in the next, I would say, 3 to 4 laps. Coming back to the line, it'll be 11 laps to go down through Congress Plaza, through 10, now down to 11, and the gap continues to open for Christian Schrader. Pit stops. With 11 to go, it's the second place car, John Velocity, trying to get a jump on the leader, Christian Schrader. He'll bring that car all the way down the slow 35-mile-an-hour pit road to his pit box. Can't make a mistake. Doesn't. Very, very conservative there on entry. Up on the jack goes the 84. We'll see if he takes 2 or 4. Looks to be 4. He will take a 4-tire stop. And away he goes with 11 laps to go. Well, now, for a moment, you'll have to bear with it. We'll look at Christian Schrader, as we might not know where he is at some points on the racetrack, but we'll give you as good a view as we can of him. Get ready to head into Congress Plaza. You'll likely see him on pit road here coming to 10 laps to go as Velocity's back on the racetrack. This is crazy. He will pit. We may not see the pit stop. At the line, it'll be 10 laps to go now. Will the second and third place cars follow suit? As he gets on to pit lane, Matt Hayden is second. He'll bring that car to pit road. We wait for Andrew Little. He comes off turn 12. He'll stay on the racetrack, so for a brief moment, he will grab the lead. And we now wait to see where John Velocity cycles out in all of this. Andrew Little leads for the moment with 10 laps to go at Chicago. Garrett Caswell. There's a lot of cars that have called it tonight. Let's go through this right now. Looks like Garrett Caswell, James Catrone, Harold Rothery, Rusty Modesty, Nick Seipel, Travis Everett, Brandon Beauchamp, Taylor Sennett, and Mike Martino have all called it a night. All retroactive to lap 20, about 4 laps to go. Schrader is off pit road, and the lead is very large. It is 11 seconds. Sorry, excuse me, 10 seconds. But still. Andrew Little still has not come to pit road yet. Obviously will have to as he works his way down towards Congress Plaza. Right-hander there, another one here. Down through 11 right here and then into 12, and then he will come off of turn 12 to the front straightaway. Let's see if he brings his car to pit road with what will be 9 laps to go, and he will not. He will stay out. So Andrew Little playing the long game here at Chicago. 9 laps to go. Schrader is running him down. He's 5 seconds back. Velocity is cut at under 10 seconds, but you got to wonder, does he have the laps that he can make up on Christian Strader? Last lap for Strader, a 146.82. Although that was his pit lap. Last lap for Velocity, a 128.97. That's close to his best lap of the race. But he is still 10 seconds back of what will eventually be the race leader, Christian Strader. Andrew Little leads, 9 to go. Next time by it will be 8, and once he pits, the cycle will be over, and I mean, there's really no other battles on the racetrack. JT Arzuri has been on pit road for an extended amount of time. He may actually have called it a night. It appears as if he has. And that would leave us. Stephen Rasick calls it a night as well. Folks, there are 7 cars left on the racetrack. We started tonight with 18. I believe there are 7 left. Cars on the lead lap, Andrew Little, Christian Strader, John Velocity, Matt Hayden, Stephen Luttrell, and Harold Watkins as Little makes his pit stop. And now it's 8 laps to go for Christian Strader, who holds a 10.4 second lead over John Velocity with 8 laps to go. So, Strader, Velocity, Little, Hayden, Luttrell, Watkins, your lead lap cars. The only other car that I think is on the racetrack right now is Greg Bourbonier, 1 lap down in 7th. Lead shrinks a little bit here for Strader. Lead shrinks here by a few tenths. Last time by, Strader was faster. We'll see what the lap time is this time, because Velocity's picked up about a second on this lap alone. Just not a lot to say. There's not a lot of cars left. We're down to 7. Strader goes by. 7 laps to go at the line. The lap time for Strader, a 129.71. We'll wait for Velocity. Obviously, it's going to take him a little bit here. A 129.13. At the rate he's going, 6 tenths faster. He'll have to pick up more than that. He'll have to pick up over a second a lap to catch Strader. At 6 tenths, he'll only make up about 5 seconds or 4.5 seconds of what is a 10-second gap. So he'll have to make up a little more than he's making up right now. And he now starts to lose a little bit. And it's quickly becoming an all-she-wrote situation here for John Velocity. We'll take a look back here. Andrew Little has gotten by Matt Hayden for 3rd. On a little bit newer tires. About a 2-second gap here. Gap is 10 seconds for Strader as he comes off turn number 12. And down to the start-finish line now, 6 to go. And last time by, I bet you can imagine what the lap times were. Strader 128.78. Velocity 129.32. Andrew Little's driven away from Matt Hayden. Well, oh no, now Matt Hayden's gone. We may have lost another one. As he has not reappeared, so it appears we've lost Matt Hayden, and now we're down to 6 cars in the race. 2/3 of the field have gone to the garage area tonight. We're left with now just 6 cars, and no battles on the racetrack in the slightest. Five laps to go in Chicago. Christian Strader by 10 seconds over the rest of the field. And Matt Hayden has disappeared. And this one's about what we all kind of expected it to be, attrition. A lot of guys, man, you wreck a few times at this racetrack, it's frustrating. You can't get your rhythm back. You decide to just call it a night, and a lot of guys have done that. Strader, though, trying to lock his way to the Challenger Cup Series playoffs. We figured he would be there anyway. Did not have the night at Atlanta last week that he probably necessarily wanted. So why not go lock yourself in race number 2? And that's exactly what he is on the way to do. Four laps to go. Strader is cruising. Velocity headed for a nice points night. So is Little. So is Stephen Luttrell. We'll say this. Stephen Luttrell's on track to have back-to-back really good weeks. I mean, what better way to start the year than win? So he locks in the playoffs. Then he goes out tonight. He has some troubles early on the first lap, then in the opening stage, and recovers to what appears to be a 4th-place finish at Chicago that will likely keep him top 3 in the points. I mean, a really incredible night. A recovery for Luttrell. How about Greg Bourbonier? A top 3 run, a 3rd-place run last week. Now looking for a 6th-place run this week. Really great starts to the year for those two. Great stories here in Chicago. It's all Christian Strader up front. So he works his way down and off turn number 12. Again, apologies for the blinking. It's not my fault. He's blinking just a little bit. 3 laps to go. At Chicago. 4.5 miles or so. Strader's still the fastest car on track. And unless he gets hampered by packet loss, he is headed for a win. Well, Velocity's cut the gap down just under 9 seconds, but with 3 laps to go, obviously not going to quite be enough. without a packet loss or a mistake here from Strader. It likely will not be enough to get the job done. Two laps to go. Popsicle sticks from Barney the Flagman. And if Strader makes it back without a track blocking incident, which of course with 6 cars on the racetrack and nobody within about 8 seconds of each other, I don't think it's going to happen. And this race will be official. Strader now just has to hit his marks 2 more times. 24 good corners, and he can call himself a winner here in Season 2 of 2025. Down to 6. Okay through there. It doesn't even look like he's really pushing all that hard. Lassie 4/10 quicker last time by, but Strader with a pit call gets out way ahead of the 84, and that is going to be the difference in tonight's race. Through 11 for Strader right here, and then he'll come down through 12. And off turn 12, he's got to do it one more time. 12 more corners. White flag is up for the race's Mustang Dark Horse. 1 lap to go in Chicago. Through 1, that left-hander through 2. A-okay so far for Christian Strader. Thought he'd be a championship contender last season. At a couple races he missed, put him in a must-win position at Charlotte in the round of 16. He finished just short of making the round of 8. And looking to avenge himself here in season number 2 of 2025. The technical / internet issues have hampered him all night and have made it hard for us to see him. But boy, he has not let it slow him down. He's through turn 6. He's through turn 7 and he's headed, or excuse me, now he's through 6. Now he's headed for the plaza. He's through 7, through 8, and 9 and 10 as he passes by the statue. Right here is the right-hander 10. He'll head down the hill to 11. And if he can make 2 more corners without a fatal problem or a packet loss, this is going to be all she wrote. Through turn 12 for the final time. The blinking gets as bad as it's ever been tonight, of course. Off turn 12 and down the front stretch. He slows down quite a bit, but he manages to get the job done. Christian Strader dominates the second half and wins in Chicago. He won on pit strategy. Must have done something on pit road that we did not see. Was able to get him far enough out front of John Velasti. Managed the gap and gets to victory lane for the first time in 2025. Denies the defending champ his first win of the season in Chicago. He'll do a full lap around this road course. He's already down to turn 5, so we'll allow him to do that. We'll allow him to celebrate. Let's go ahead and actually kill 2 birds with 1 stone as he comes around. Let's get you to your finishing results before he gets back to the start-finish line. What in the world did I just bring up? I'm not even sure what that is. Let's get that off the screen. Let's get you your finishing results before he gets back. And are they not going to work again? I don't think they're... Oh, they tried. They are going to work. Christian Strader over John Velasti. Actually, we got to allow him a second to celebrate, so we'll come back to this here in just a moment, but we'll give him a moment. Winner at Chicago, Christian Strader. So he will complete his celebrations for the win in Chicago. Let's get you your finishing results, and then we'll move into the top 3 here for interviews as we wrap up a short one tonight in Chicago. Christian Strader gets the win by 8 seconds over John Velocity in second. Andrew Little on the podium in third. Stephen Luttrell, a nice bounce back for him tonight after a rough start. He gets a really nice start to his season with a 4th place finish. Harold Watkins tonight goes 5th. Greg Bourbonier, another good run for him as well in the 6th position. Matt Aiden finishes 7th. GT Raziri in 8th. Stephen Rasick in 9th. And James Catrone in 10th. Garrett Caswell goes 11th tonight with Harold Rothery in 12th. Rusty Modesty 13th. Nick Seipel in 14th. And Travis Everett in 15th. Brandon Beauchamp back in 16th. Taylor Senift in 17th. And Mike Martino III finishes in the 18th position. We're going to go get your top 3 set up for some post-race interviews. Stick with us here on PGR eSports. You're watching the Challenger Cup Series. We'll be right back to talk to your top 3. Welcome back to the Chicago Street Course as we prepare for interviews with your top 3 in tonight's race. Let's start with the man who finished in the 3rd position, a resilient night. For the driver from Waterford, Michigan, it is Andrew Little coming home 3rd in the 68 machine. Andrew, it's Dawson, the broadcast booth. You get a copy?
I got you, bud. How you doing?
Well, not too bad. One of the more odd races. I guess we'll see only 6 cars finish out the entire 34 laps, but you were one of them. A night of attrition for sure here at Chicago. So a 3rd place finish for you. Take me through a weird night here at the Chicago Street Course.
Well, I tried to preface for our whole group here. We got a couple of new guys. We got a couple of veterans that just set your expectations low, and if it goes any better than that, you'll just be pleasantly surprised. And I don't know if some of our guys set their expectations low enough. So when it comes down to it, you had, unfortunately for this track, us admins in this league decided, you know what, let's follow the NASCAR schedule. That's going to work out really well. And, it sometimes produces a little bit of a rough night for us, but that's what we decided, and we're sticking to it. Overall, it was just basically doing your best to keep the car off the walls and just brake early and often as much as you could, and if you just kept making laps. And I was lucky enough to kind of do an undercut on Matt, and that worked out. And I was able to save some fuel, so I was able to stay out and get a little bit of I led 1 lap, so it worked pretty good for me, because we had a couple of guys that were definitely clear separate. They're like our own little SVGs.
Boy, and certainly tonight, though, a 3rd place finish for you after not getting to race Atlanta last week. You needed a good run tonight, obviously, to get yourself into the points conversation, and you do that, a 3rd place finish. And you talk about that bonus point as well. So now you kind of look forward. You've gotten your season started now. Kind of, tell me what the expectations are. It's a weird schedule as well. A lot of different tracks, a lot of unique tracks on the schedule. Chicago, of course, probably towards the more unique end of that. Kind of, take me through your expectations for this season.
I definitely want to get another win. I got a win in season 1, first half of the year, so I'm definitely looking for that. Indy's a good possibility. Dover or Bristol, someplace where a save and tire, if we can get a long enough run, I might have a good shot there. And then you never know what's going to happen at Daytona. So, I'll just do what I can to be in the fight and those types of things, and then do what I can here to eat up points either at Sonoma or Watkins Glen or wherever I can to try to get myself in the playoff hunt after missing one of these races.
Well, tonight a good start towards that goal for you. A third-place finish at the Chicago Street Course on a night where 6 cars finished, being one of the 6. Certainly got to think that's an achievement, but a third-place finish got to be all the more pleasing for you. So before we let you go and head out from this one, anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Oh, thanks again to all of our guys coming out and the guys that were able to stick it out and finish the race. And our race control, J-Dub, James Wright, he did a good job of just kind of watching over everything. And sometimes in these tracks or whatever, when yellows come out or any of that kind of stuff, some of the black flags get a little bit goofy. So he did a good job of kind of controlling that. But overall, just thanks to the guys at Challenger and thanks to you for doing our broadcast. This is a good night for me. And looking forward to the next one.
Looking forward to the next one, indeed. Thanks for talking to me for a second. Congratulations on the third-place finish. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate. We will talk to you next week in Sonoma.
All right, bud. Have a great one. Talk to you later.
Andrew Little, third-place finisher tonight. We'll go now to the man I heartfelt titled Shane Van Gisbergen earlier, and I may have announced or jinxed him, unfortunately, in tonight's race at some point by calling him that. But regardless, it's a second-place finish for the defending champ, the Season 1 champion, John Velocity. Needed it tonight. Again, another driver that did not get to run Atlanta last week. So Velocity, this is the first we've seen of him since he won the championship at Pocono. So for him, he needed a good run. He got a stage as well as a stage win, as well as, of course, a second-place finish and some lap sled as well. So we'll talk to the second-place runner on how he feels. The 84 of John Velocity, your defending champion of the Challenger Cup Series. John, it's Dawson, the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I gotcha.
Well, again, a weird race tonight. I was just talking to Andrew a moment ago. This was an odd one. 6 cars finish at the end of the 34 laps. And for much of the first 20 or so, it looked like you had checked out on the field. The only couple cars that could keep up at one point, Nick Seipel, we saw the issue on the restart after the stage, and then Christian Schrader eventually kind of works pit road and gets by and then works the pit strategy to win tonight's race. But regardless, a weird night in Chicago for a lot, but looked pretty routine for you. Take me through your race tonight at the Chicago Street Course.
Yeah, weird is a good way to put it. Qualified on pole. I only got 1 lap in. I messed up the second, so I didn't think I was going to have pole, but ended up there. There was some beating and banging on the start of the race that kind of gave me the lead to pull away and win the stage. That was good. And then Christian made his way back up, and once he got behind my bumper, he was just faster than me. I knew it. It was only a matter of time. I started overdriving a bit, sliding around, so I'm like, you know what? I think I just got to let him go, preserve second, and try to chase him back down, and it worked out.
Well, I just kind of talked to Andrew about the same thing. And another driver looking at the points that did not get to run last week, obviously in Atlanta. The defending champ, obviously not a hole you wanted to get into, but now one you have to dig out of. But hey, a second-place finish, a stage win. You're going to be right back in the mix when we head to Sonoma next week. Another road course, by the way. We expect you, of course, to be back up front. So, as we get into this championship defense, some road courses on the schedule, more than last season, some interesting tracks on the schedule. Take me through the game plan for championship defense here in Season 2 in 2025.
Yeah, missing the last week definitely put me in a hole, like you say, but we got a lot of tracks coming up that I'm very confident at. Road courses being one of them. I feel pretty confident to at least get a top 2 or 3 pretty much every week. And going back to the ovals, once we get back to that schedule, there's a lot of tracks that I'm comfortable at, that I'm confident at, so I'm not too worried about digging myself out of a hole. I just got to be consistent, be clean, and get there and put ourselves in position to defend the title.
I look forward to watching this defense get underway for you here in Season 2 of 2025. Tonight, though, the second-place finish for you in Chicago. So before we let you go, any thank yous, shout-outs you'd like to give?
I want to shout you out. I appreciate you coming back for season 2. I enjoy what you do. You're great at it. I appreciate this league for putting on these races. I know a lot of people don't like doing the road courses and they would like to see them changed for something else, but I appreciate them staying true and following the schedule as close as possible. And look forward to continuing this journey on.
We're looking forward to it as well. A second place finish for you tonight in Chicago. Congratulations. Thanks for talking to me here for a second. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate. We will talk to you next week in Sonoma.
I appreciate it.
John Velocity in the 84 machine. Now we get to the man in victory lane and one of the weirdest drives to victory I've ever seen with the amount of times he blinked in and out on the racetrack. But hey, a win's a win nonetheless. Strader outduels Velocity, gets to victory lane in Chicago, and locks himself in to the Challenger Cup Series playoffs here in Season 2 in 2025. Sure to be a threat for that title, and he gets off to a good start here tonight in Chicago in race number 2 with a victory. He's in Challenger Cup Series victory lane. It's the 29 of Christian Strader. Christian, it's Dawson, the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Dawson. How you doing?
Well, not too bad, and this is kind of exactly how I thought this interview was going to go. So I got to ask, I need to know if it's just on my end or if it's on your end too. Is there some technical issues, some internet issues going on your end tonight? Because the blinking was crazy. I've never seen someone go out and win a race, let alone be able to run all 34 laps without disconnecting from the session and go to victory lane. It's got to be the weirdest win I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely on my end. Everybody kind of said, or well, I was let know like before the race that there were some issues. Then we get to the race to check. Everybody's like, "Yeah, you look good." Nobody says anything again until Matt gets back on and looks at the broadcast with like 5 to go, and he's like, "Hey, man, you're blinking like crazy." So, no, we'll hopefully get it figured out for next week. But yeah, I don't know. Tried to kind of hide the tactics there, I guess, tonight.
Well, look, still obviously a good drive for you tonight. You know, trailed behind Velocity, kind of had to drive through the field just a little bit. When you got a chance to get to him, though, you drive past him, and then a pit road call gets you to a big lead. You're able to manage and get to victory lane. To knock a win out this early in the season, and granted, we expected that you'd be high enough in the point standings to make a run at the championship again, but to go ahead and get the win knocked out and know that you're playoff racing, how does that feel? To come out of tonight with a win and now get to kind of look at the rest of the regular season. It's just, hey, I get to pile up points. What does that do for you as a driver in terms of your mental?
Oh, it's great. It's kind of nice to know that you're locked in. But the big one is now like it kind of can start being aggressive with anything, like whether I want to try to make a race strategy call or just if there's 10 to go and you need to put it on the line, and if you wreck, you wreck. It's kind of nice. It would have been really nice to have that going into this race, because this one's kind of one of the ones where you're kind of worried about wrecking out of. But no, it definitely helps out trying to move forward and stack up some points. So hopefully the rest of the rounds end up being pretty good.
Well, now we move forward from here, and I talked about the schedule and kind of how unique it is with the last 2 drivers as well. And John and Andrew. A lot of weird stops this season. Obviously, Sonoma coming up next week. Indianapolis is not an easy oval to go to. It's unique. Dover has its own quirks. We go to Iowa. We go to Watkins Glen. We have drafting racing coming up later. We have some weird, ovals. Bristol's not symmetrical. Gateway's not symmetrical. Neither is Darlington. We just go to some weird tracks this season. Different from last season, obviously. What's the game plan for you? We expect the road courses to be a strength. We expect the mile and a half to be a strength. The rest of those tracks, though, how do you attack that as a driver? And again, you talk about now being aggressive, but how does that preparation change now that you're a race winner this early in the season?
The preparation doesn't change too much. I like most weeks, I feel like I can be competitive, and so most of the time the focus is on more so racing that race and trying to get a win and trying to advance on a win. Those 5 points to add up, and honestly, like, points racing, if as long as you hope like running well and finishing up front, it kind of works itself out. But I like the second half of the schedule. I think that the more unique tracks or some things that kind of suit me a little bit better. You just kind of have to be aggressive with them. You want to attack the track. You want to really kind of go after finding lap time, finding speed, and because like a lot of these tracks, a little mistake can end up kind of ending your day. But if you want to be fast, you kind of got to put the car on edge and not really worry too much about wrecking out.
Well, obviously got off to a good start to the season tonight as you win here in Chicago and lock into the playoffs here in Season 2 of 2025. Looking forward to the rest of the regular season as well. Again, some interesting tracks, some tracks that we've gotten to see you win at in the past. So going to be interesting to see how your regular season pans out. Tonight, though, a win for you in Victory Lane. Congratulations on the victory in Chicago. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate. We will talk to you next week. And actually, let's give you a chance to give some thank yous and shout-outs. Boy, I almost completely blew that one.
No, I just want to say thank you to Matt and Rusty and Andrew for putting everything together, and just everybody that kind of like helps out with finding at least some race strategy, and then of course thank you to you guys for going ahead and broadcasting us.
It's been fun to do tonight, a fun one as well. Congrats on the win. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate. We'll see you next week at Sonoma.
Thank you, man. You too.
Christian Strader, the winner tonight in Chicago at the street course. And that will all but do it for our coverage. A quick one tonight, all things considered, here on PGR eSports, is Christian Strader goes to Victory Lane in just over an hour of race time at the Chicago street course. First win of the season for him. Second different winner this season. The second driver to lock in the Challenger Cup Series playoffs come the later part of the year. Let's take you through the scheduling here, the programming schedule for PGR eSports. Coming up here in just about 20 minutes or so, it's going to be Ron Morris Racing's Tuesday Night Thunder with Michael Triscaro and Ron Morris Jr. on the call right here on PGR eSports. Go to our homepage. You'll find the stream. You can wait for that one to get started. Playoff racing round 3 tonight for RMR. The RMR series has always put on great racing. It'll be a banger tonight as well at Talladega. Go check that one out. Perhaps a stand-in PGR race tomorrow. We'll see. I'm not sure about tomorrow night scheduling yet, but keep an eye close on our YouTube page and see if we're coming back. Thursday night, the Intimidator Super Speedway Series is back to full-time action this week after the July 4th holiday. Going to look for the Q3 schedule. We don't have it yet, so I cannot remember exactly where we're going at this point this week, but I know there will be a race on Thursday night. Someone will have the broadcast. It will not be me. I'll be out of town, but it will be someone here on PGR eSports that has that one for you on Thursday night, and perhaps some weekend racing coming up as well. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Also, in terms of next week, Monday night, the PGR SummerSlam 499 brings another recruitment race to the racetrack. The Light Series is off until after the SummerSlam, and so another recruitment race coming up in the Gen 6 at Talladega as we set the field, set the entry list for the second annual SummerSlam 499. We're back next Tuesday night from Sonoma Raceway in California for 44 laps on a tricky technical road course. Should be another interesting one next week as well, round 3 of Season 2 of the 2025 calendar year for the Challenger Cup Series. SummerSlam 499, August 1st through the 3rd. Set your calendars. We'll be here for all of it in that first weekend of August. Cannot wait for that one. The Gen 6 cars at Talladega, a 200-car entry list. Going to be a lot of fun come that first weekend in August as we build on the road to the SummerSlam. It continues once again this week. Here at Chicago, that's going to wrap it up for us tonight. Christian Strader gets a win tonight in the Challenger Cup Series at the Chicago Street Course and locks himself in the Challenger Cup Series playoffs at the end of the year. It's going to do it for us. My name is Dawson Wise. You've been watching PGR eSports coverage of the Challenger Cup Series at the Chicago Street Course. We'll see you next week at Sonoma. Tune into all of our social channels as well.